Blowing away the Islanders and Capitals, the Rangers moved on to a conference final showdown with the New Jersey Devils.
The NHL season down to the final 4 teams, and clearly the New York Rangers are the team to beat for the Stanley Cup.
The underdog Devils managed a split of the first 4 games. And in Game 5, they took command of the series.
It's a 2-on-1 the other way. John McLean to Nicholls scores! Bernie Nicholls, power play goal. It's a 2-on-1 with Chorske. Across it goes. Chorske all kinds of time. He scores! Tom Chorske makes it 4-0. And the exit is on here at Madison Square Garden in what might be the final game of the season here in New York.
This young Devils team with a rookie goalie named Martin Brodeur and a bunch of workmanlike forwards, not many superstars, are outplaying the Rangers. They're outworking them.
This one is over. A very impressive 4-1 victory by the New Jersey Devils.
Leaving the ice down 3-2, Messier and the Rangers were 60 minutes away from another postseason heartbreak.
Rangers are really in a bind here.
We had definitely lost momentum in that series. We needed a way to find our confidence, which we had displayed all year.
Bill Clement, the Rangers are not done yet.
No, they're not done, Gary, but they're a hurting bunch. They are hurt physically, they are hurting emotionally.
The Devils came off the ice in Game 5 knowing they had the Rangers on the ropes. But as they have all series, the Devils are taking nothing for granted.
We're a confident group, but then again, we're not overconfident. We don't want to get complacent at this point. We just want to get out there and get that first couple shifts out of the way and try to get in there and get some early chances.
The Rangers, meantime, have a curse upon them and history against them, not to mention a red-hot rookie named Martin Brodeur.
All throughout the playoff, that's what you try to do. You try to play well and make at least the odd save, and sometimes you get the big save. I remember a few saves I did against the Buffalo series, and that could have been the big difference right there. But now it's a new series, so whatever we do, a goal or a save, it doesn't really matter who's doing it. It's the team now. We just want to be out there and win.
The Devils are confident because they're thriving when faced with adversity. They've handed the Rangers their only 2 losses at home during the playoffs after failing to win at Madison Square during the regular season. They've used the suspension of Bernie Nicholls as incentive to win Game 4 and his return to win Game 5.
I hope they were excited to have me back. I felt that I had to go out and help the team out the best I could because of missing Game 4, and things just worked out great for us. And the way we're playing right now, we definitely have to carry that over to Game 6, and we feel if we play Game 6 the way we play 4 and 5, then we got a great opportunity to beat this team.
The following day, Mark and I had a meeting, and I had a great relationship with Mark and certainly a great level of respect. And Mark was appealing to me an emotional approach that I was being very firm and hard on the team, and I said, absolutely, I am.
Messier told Keenan he understood why he did the things he did, but it was no longer time to use the motivational tactics that he had used during the season. He said, Mike, we're so close. Mike, we know we can win the cup if we beat the Devils. They cried. Messier cried in Keenan's arms.
I understood the appeal he was making on behalf of his teammates, and he understood that the message I was delivering is that I wanted more and needed more, and they could give more, and they deserved more.
It appeared after the loss in Game 5 that the other shoe was about to drop, and the Rangers were going to lose in the conference finals to the Devils.
I'm in the Devils locker room, and you're just covering a team that is trying to come to grips with the notion that they're going to knock off the Rangers, and they're going to the Stanley Cup final.
The doomsayers, the naysayers are there and saying the jinx will continue. And Mark, once again, seized the moment.
We start to get calls from the people who are covering the Rangers saying that Messier might have just guaranteed victory.
This was headlines on all the sports sections in New York. Mark Messier said, "We will win Game 6.
And I'll never forget having a hard time sleeping that night and then waking up the next morning and picking up the New York Daily News and the New York Post, and on the back of those pages is Mark Messier guaranteeing a win.
Obviously, when I saw the headline smashed with, I'm going to guarantee a win, I kind of wanted to roll back into the covers and say, call it a day.
And I was saying to myself, oh my God, this is the kiss of death. What is he doing?
I didn't think much of it other than the fact that I wanted the players to know that I really believed in the team, that we could go there and win. After that, it didn't really affect me once the game started.
You know, I mean, it all comes down to this game. Our season's over if we don't perform, and you know, there's no tomorrow.
Mark's guarantee had raised the stakes of a game that was already New York's most important contest in decades.
The Eastern Conference Final from a packed house at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The Devils and the New York Rangers. Face off at center. Bobby Carpenter and Mark Messier, two new faces, are in the lineup for the Rangers tonight. Eddie Olczyk at forward and Doug Lidster on defense, taking Beukeboom's place. Brian Noonan, who has played in all of the games this season in the playoffs, is out. He has a shoulder problem. And the early portion of the game without credit has set the pace in this series and will again tonight. Graves pinned up in the corner by Stevens. Behind the net. Carpenter let it go. Tommy Albelin moving over. Comes to the corner to Graves. His pass intercepted by Albelin, not out. Zubov held it in. Down low. Centering pass intended for Messier. Deflected wide as Kocur got it out in front. Lemieux picks it up. Claude Lemieux, the New Jersey Devils moving in. Richter makes the save. The same two goaltenders, Richter and Brodeur, making the starts here tonight. Karpovtsev, who's had a very tough series, has been put on the defensive pairing with Brian Leetch. Messier chasing with Daneyko on him. Graves behind the net. Graves and Dowd. Comes up to Zubov. Zubov poked away by Zelepukin.
You know why that Karpovtsev pairing with Brian Leetch is so interesting? Because if Jeff Beukeboom had not been suspended, Karpovtsev most likely would have been scratched from this game. He has not played well.
Instead, he ends up on the so-called first pairing.
Exactly. He went from a guy that was going to be scratched to a guy that's playing with Brian Leetch.
Kevin Lowe's got it. Lowe dishes it across ice. Rangers changing it up. Nemchinov will bring it in onside. Nemchinov with Daneyko on him. Centering pass. That's what the Rangers did not do in the last game. That was get the puck down low. They did have done that on the first couple of shifts here. Hasn't resulted in a scoring chance, but they are clearly working towards the netminder.
The one thing that might help the New York Rangers is it's a little more difficult to be a patient hockey team at home. But boy, the Devils for the last two games have been so patient. Check this out. They have allowed one odd man rush in the last two games, and that was a 3-on-2 2 games ago. They have not allowed a breakaway or a 2-on-1 in the last two games. That is airtight defense. And when you look at the New York Rangers, the team they have thrives on odd man rushes. You don't give them any, they struggle.
They need to have that offensive flow going for them, and it's been the New Jersey Devils who have shut that down. Nicholls out to take the face-off against Kovalev. Nicholls is out with Stéphane Richer and John McLean, an offensive potent line right there. Fetisov has been teamed up for the first time this year with Scott Niedermayer. It didn't happen until Game 5. They never played together all year long as a defensive pairing. Scott Niedermayer got to chasing it around and lost control of himself in Game 4. And so they put Fetisov in with him. It settled him down, and they've liked it enough to keep them together. Goaltenders tonight, and they've both been magnificent.
Well, you know that the New York Rangers guys are saying to Mike Richter, listen, if you've got one more I can win this one by myself kind of game in you this season, now's the time, big boy. As far as Martin Brodeur is concerned, he hasn't been a factor in the last two games, and I think that should tell everybody just how well his team has played in front of him.
His dad is on hand for tonight's game. His father's a sports photographer, former goaltender himself. His dad skated on the bronze Olympic team in Italy back in 1956, the goaltender for Canada, and his dad came down from Montreal, Dennis Brodeur, to see this game tonight. He's on hand along with Martin Brodeur's fiancée.
And Martin asked him to come. First time in the playoffs that he's asked his dad to come and see him.
Dad is here. Along the boards, it's dropped back for Driver. Driver and Daneyko together. Tipped in by Peluso. Peluso, McKay, and Bobby Holík out there. Cleared behind the net by Richter. Peluso cuts it off. In the corner, Craig MacTavish. Bobby Holík moves in. He gets tied up by Leetch. Holík knocked it away. Holík trying to center. Holík tried to run it out himself, and Eddie Olczyk jams it away. Ed Olczyk's got to be wondering, this is what it's like on the ice. It has been a long time since he has played. Pinned up on the back of the net, and Daneyko's not going to let it off as he and Gilbert tangle.
Must be a strange feeling. He only played 2 of the last 38 regular season games, and he has not seen any playoff action.
See how much he gets tonight. Karpovtsev save made by Brodeur on the blocker. Tom Chorske the other way. Chorske's got Lemieux trailing. Claude Lemieux tied up by Leetch, came back into the middle. It's kind of an interesting academic question. Who really has the more pressure on them tonight? The Rangers, because they could be eliminated? Tommy Albelin, saved by Richter. Rebound, saved by Richter on Bobby Carpenter.
See Richter standing up, talking to Bobby Carpenter. He didn't like the poke that Carpenter laid on him. But Gary, the proposition that you laid out about pressure, it leads to attempts like the one that Bobby Carpenter made. When you've got a loose puck, I don't care if the goalie's about to put his hand on it, and it doesn't matter to the player. If you're going to crush his fingers in the process, maybe you're going for it. The rebound right out to Bobby Carpenter, and then Mike Richter finally saw it as Carpenter came in. The one thing that Karpovtsev will give, and this is his shot, the one thing that he will give the Rangers instead of Jeff Beukeboom, pretty good offensive skill standing in at the blue line. The problem will be if Karpovtsev and Brian Leetch get hemmed in their own end without Jeff Beukeboom there to do a lot of the big physical work.
Face-offs have gone to the Rangers throughout this series. Messier wins that one. In the last game, it was 37-21 in favor of the Rangers. Shot wide again by Bobby Carpenter. In this series, shot again, save, rebound loose, shot again, deflected. Chorske and the Devils just gunning it in from in the slot area here as the Rangers have trouble getting out of the zone. Adam Graves. Graves gets hit, held in by Chorske. Lost to Messier, who tried to rush it up ice. Back for Graves. Cleared it out. Stevens back in with Tommy Albelin. Albelin to Stevens! Missed the net. He was in a tough situation because he was right on the goal line and was reaching back.
An odd play. Both defensemen had a chance to take a really good shot, and they didn't get a shot on goal. And what was interesting is they kept on with the rush. That's not a Jacques Lemaire style. If they get caught, they've got no defenseman back.
John McLean to Stéphane Richer. Richer takes the shot, blocked by Wells. Wells tried to pin it up, couldn't, came back into the middle. Esa Tikkanen's got to chase this down, will run in behind the net, instead reverses to Doug Lidster. Lidster clears it out. Lidster hasn't played since April 14, the final regular season game. Cleared back along the ice, lost to Bernie Nicholls. Nicholls and Richer. Nicholls saved by Richter. And Mike Richter's holding the fort right now for the New York Rangers. Esa Tikkanen. Terry Fraser is our referee tonight. Pat Peluso and Gerard Gauthier are the linesmen. And the shots are 5-1 in favor of the Devils.
The Rangers now have been caught flat-footed at least 3 times that have led the Devils 2-on-1s. Remember when we talked about all those odd man rushes? Well, Bernie Nicholls just came in on a 2-on-1. Watch the play right here. McLean just banks it off the boards for Bernie Nicholls, and the Rangers caught up in the play. That is the way the New York Rangers have actually committed kind of hockey suicide in the last couple of games by giving the Devils these kinds of chances. Remember Game 5? Both Bernie Nicholls' goals came off of 2-on-1s. The short-handed chance and then the one later in the game that John McLean set him up on. And the Rangers have to at least match the odd man rushes.
Nicholls has 2-2 in this series. Save on driver's shot, and it just trickled wide. Craig MacTavish starts it up. Lowe dumps it in. Richter's doing what Brodeur had done in the first 3 games of this series, and that's hold the fort while the offense waited to get going. Comes back to Zubov. Zubov has McKay coming at him. Zubov with Lowe. Kevin Lowe, the veteran on the near side, dumps it up for Gilbert. Gilbert. MacTavish couldn't knock it down. Peluso back to get it. Mike Peluso got a huge goal in that last game at Madison Square Garden to help the Devils move on to that victory and take the 3-2 edge. Kenny Daneyko. McKay tipped it out to center. Congratulations to the Vancouver Canucks, who came from a 3-0 deficit last night in the game to beat Toronto in double overtime on Greg Adams' goal 14 seconds into the second OT. Zelepukin leaves it for Billy Guerin. Save made again. Richter looks like he's on, but he's really getting challenged. These are tough shots. Behind the net, Zelepukin knocked it away. Karpovtsev having trouble, gets it away to Leetch. Cleared up, Matteau drops it back. Devils, though, are 3 back. Tommy Albelin put the hook on and knocked the puck down. Leetch dumped it back in. They tried anyway. It was deflected and intercepted. Dowd can't do anything with it. Ice looks a little sticky. Here's Stevens with Zelepukin. Zelepukin gets by one man. Save made again by Richter. He went right around Matteau. And Richter's facing him alone right now.
Not a good sign for the New York Rangers, Gary. They are not sharp on their man-to-man coverage. The Devils had a 2-on-3 a minute ago, and the Rangers backed over the blue line and let them come. Scott Stevens is going to jump up on the play. You got Ranger Devil coverage there, Ranger Devil coverage there. Here comes Scott Stevens to make the play happen. See Stevens jump up on the play by his man in the neutral zone.
What a move by Zelepukin to get by Stéphane Matteau. Cleared out of the zone by the Rangers as Messier tries to run it in. Messier in this series a goal and 5 assists. One of the people they need is Kovalev. Kovalev has not scored in this series. Graves knocks it down. Graves a little room. He could have gone to the net and didn't. Back to him. Shot deflected by Driver. Bruce Driver deflected that before it got in on Martin Brodeur. Brodeur's having a great playoff. 8 and 7. His goals against in the playoff year 1.92. Lemieux clears it out. Zubov, look out. He had trouble with that. Bobby Carpenter was right in his jersey. Graves dumps it into the zone again. There are the Devils. Driver just stood up Anderson. Driver picks up the loose puck as Messier was charging, and that'll end up on the Devils bench. Both teams are a little tentative here, feeling each other and maybe even more importantly themselves out, not wanting to make any big mistakes and kind of both standing each other up all over the ice.
I don't know. The Rangers, to me, look like they're backing in over their blue line, allowing the Devils to come at them, and then not finding their reads, their man-to-man coverage very quickly in their defensive zone. And as a result, this could be a 3-0 game right now.
Yeah. Richter's come away with 8 saves now. The shots are 8-2. And that's exactly the opposite of what the Rangers need. They've got to get some scoring chances on Brodeur and force the action in front of the net. Richter in the playoffs now is 10-4 with a 1.94 goals against. Fetisov in his own end. Gets hit by Eddie Olchuk, cleared around the boards. Litzker steps up to hold it in. Nemchinov, Fetisov, and Olchuk couldn't control. Dowd's there. Dowd pushed it out to center. Esa Tikkanen will chase it down at the other end. Tikkanen's gone 4-2 in the playoff year.
Well, Fetisov behind his own net that last time had 2 Rangers on him. He was still strong enough to make the play. This was a guy that was not even penciled in for the playoffs.
Now playing regularly. Niedermayer to Guerin. Guerin behind the net. Viacheslav Fetisov right there. He loves to do this. It drives coaches crazy, but that's how they played it on Central Red Army.
Gee, how come? How come that drives coaches crazy?
No other hockey system uses it, I'll tell you that. Niedermayer centering. Look out, score! It went off a Rangers stick. Deflected in front. 1-0 Devils.
What an incredible goal when you consider that the Devils have had 3, 4, maybe 5 terrific scoring opportunities, and now they get one off their own player's stick.
That is the 3rd time in this series that the Rangers have helped put a puck in their own net. And it is a 1-0 lead, and who scores first matters, because now the Devils go into that zone even deeper to shut you down. Shot Karpovtsev. Brodeur had that one go wide. Gilbert shot. And now you see the Rangers' response. Get it on the stick and gun it in.
Well, the team that has scored first has won 4 of the first 5 games. And when you have a 1-0 lead, it gets you closer to a 2-0 lead. And the Rangers know that if they are down 2 goals, it is like trying to climb Mount Everest. Yes, you can make it, but the majority of people fail when they try to climb Mount Everest. The Rangers had pretty good coverage on this play. When it went over to the side, they moved to their man-to-man coverage, and it looked like an innocent play. Sergei Nemchinov was left out in front, and he just tried to get a piece of it. He didn't know where the man was behind him. He did just get a piece of it. That was enough.
Right into his own net. Niedermayer credited with the goal, unassisted at 8:03. Jammed up on the near side. Niedermayer's 2nd goal of the playoffs this year, and his 1st against the Rangers. And in this series now, the Devils are outscoring the Rangers 14-12. They've got the 1-0 lead in Game 6. Bobby Holík's Daneyko had his stick picked up by Gilbert as he cut in. Cleared up and into the zone by Karpovtsev, and Brodeur will cover that up. Keenan under enormous attack in New York by the press, especially talk radio sports station, about the moves he's made or hasn't made, the sitting of some players who are injured or aren't injured. Boy, I'll tell you, it's all because of 1940. In New York, you cannot get away from that year, and it's been repeated here already on Moss. Tip, Brodeur covers it up. No rebound for Larmer.
Wow, look at the crowd around Steve Larmer. Ooh, Fetisov, who's he on? Whoever it is, he's swinging from the bottom. It's Eddie O, is it? No, it's Stéphane Matteau. And Matteau just swatted Fetisov with a stick. You can see Slava Fetisov doesn't have a stick.
This 35-year-old has put on an incredible show in the playoffs. Fetisov coming to the Devils at the age of 31. A 9-time Soviet All-Star and 3 times named the top player in Europe. And he's not about to take anything in this game, and as a result, Larmer's going to go to the penalty box.
Remember, after the 3rd game in this series, we talked about how the Devils had not led once in the series, even though they had a victory. They scored a sudden death overtime goal. Well, since game 3, this is what has happened. They have turned it around completely.
They've got the 1-0 lead here, out shooting the Rangers 9-3. And now a chance on the power play with Steve Larmer going to the penalty box.
But this is the same kind of play that I talked about when Bobby Carpenter took a poke at Richter earlier in the game. This is a gotta-make-it kind of play. You got to do it. Brodeur had it under his glove. Steve Larmer is fighting for his playoff life. So Martin Brodeur has to expect that.
Penalty at 9:15. The New Jersey Devils on the power play in this series are 3 for 22. The New York Rangers overall in the playoffs continue to be the best penalty-killing team. The Devils, huge chance here to take a 2-0 lead. Jim Dowd behind the net. Picked up by Billy Guerin. Guerin, Dowd, and Zelepukin are on this power play unit. 2 youngsters really. Shot Stevens, deflected wide. Guerin. Messier picks it up. Dowd, the rookie out there, working center on this line. Brodeur at the far end. And at 25, the Devils' advantage. Stevens and Tommy Albelin taken away by MacTavish. Short-handed Rangers. Esa Tikkanen cutting. He got tied up by Stevens and then mugged Stevens, or Richer rather, a little bit. Out through center ice. Guerin had it, lost it. Again, Tikkanen moves in. MacTavish there with him. Remember, the Rangers are short-handed here. Puck finally freed up by the Devils. Bernie Nicholls sends it back. The Devils start from behind their own net. Tikkanen taking the chance, moved in. 56 on the power play for New Jersey. Stéphane Richer. Wow, just missed the post. John McLean hit by Zubov. That one was bouncing off the boards before Mike Richter even knew where it was. John McLean, Nicholls, and Richer on this power play for the Devils. Back along the line, they've got driver Niedermayer. Stéphane Richer. Niedermayer, the one-timer deflected by the defenseman. McLean centered. Nicholls had to play it behind the net. Time on the power play down to 28-second shot. Driver deflected wide by Zubov. Nemchinov brings it out. Rangers still short-handed. Devils want to change. Nemchinov tried to get the shot off. Here's Matteau. Matteau centered. Brodeur blocked it. Short-handed Rangers. Matteau comes in front. Matteau still has it. Matteau looking for help. Leetch has joined them. Matteau drops it off in the corner but couldn't find anybody.
Oh, great solo effort by Stéphane Matteau. He waited and waited and was able to fight all the Devils off, waiting for somebody to get there, but help never came.
Power play is over. Claude Lemieux rolled it in, taken out of the play by Karpovtsev. Centered again and blocked side of the net by Leetch. The Devils up 1-0. Do not convert on the power play and did not get a shot off on it. But they've got the 1-0 lead. Back through center, Niedermayer picking up the goal that went in off a Rangers stick. Claude Lemieux sends it in. What that goal does for the Devils is take away a little of that apprehension they might have playing in this huge game. Larmer brings it in. It came back outside the line, offside Rangers. Welcome back to the Meadowlands. Over 19,000 on hand for Game 6, and they are ready to celebrate if the Devils can win this game.
One of the big ifs is if Bobby Carpenter's line with Lemieux on one side, Chorske on the other, can continue to shut down the Messier line. 85% of the even strength shifts in this series have had these two lines against one another. Not by Mike Keenan's doing, by Jacques Lemaire.
That's the matchup he wants. Karpovtsev out there over to Leetch. Messier is out there now. Messier, Graves. On the far side, Messier sends it in. Again, Glenn Anderson's moved back up on this line after Joey Kocur started on it. Bobby Carpenter gets hit by Anderson. Down they both go. Graves drops it off. Messier to Graves! Great save, Brodeur. Leetch shot, save, Brodeur.
I gotta see this. I gotta take a look at this. I don't know what happened to the play, but it was perfect. Messier dished out to Adam Graves. Brodeur was not in position. The shot just, if it got there, it did not obviously get behind him, but watch it. Messier behind, perfect dish out to Graves. Did it ever get to the net? I wonder if Graves fanned on it a little bit. And then Brian Leetch coming in, trying to go short side. Watch it from here. Adam Graves fanned on it. It never got to Brodeur. And then when Brian Leetch came in, Martin Brodeur had the book on Leetch early in the series, and he told me, he said he likes to go low to the stick side. But then in game 3, Brian Leetch cut in on Brodeur and singed one over his shoulder. It just went over the crossbar. At that point, Martin Brodeur said, I'm going to throw away my book on Brian Leetch, because if I take one area away, like all great players, he's going to go someplace else.
Bernie Nicholls and Kovalev on the draw. Rangers behind the net. Niedermayer tying up. Stéphane Matteau centered. Nobody there for the Rangers. Picked up by Billy Guerin and cleared out. Rangers back in their own end. Zubov. Larmer came back to help. Matteau cross ice. Fetisov. Lee and Larmer. Larmer shot. Brodeur gloves it. Looked like it was going to be behind the net, but Brodeur made sure and hung on. Don't be confused, but just so you know, if the Devils win tonight, the Stanley Cup Finals start here on Saturday. If they don't, if the Rangers win, these two teams play again Friday, and the Stanley Cup Finals will start next Tuesday. Lister shot, hit the crossbar. Whoa. Could have been some argument on that one if it had gone in, because the net was moved by the time the puck got there, with Leetch and Nemchinov down low being shoved into goaltender Martin Brodeur, but it didn't go in.
Exactly what the Rangers have to do, though. If they end up with possession in the offensive zone and they do not take Martin Brodeur's vision away from him, he'll just eat it up, just like he has every time in this series, unless he plans on falling apart in this game, and there aren't any signs of that. Good play by Tikkanen, just back to the point. Look at the crowd in front trying to jam in on Martin Brodeur.
Face-off coming to the left of Brodeur. Nemchinov and Dowd. Jimmy Dowd won the draw, and John McLean clears it out for Richer. Sent wide. Mike Richter going back to get it. Richer with 7 goals and 4 assists in the playoffs this year. Near side for Wells. You see the Devils in that 1-2-2. I mean, you can't even put the X's and O's down on paper any more perfectly than the way they set up. I mean, it's right there. 1-2-2. Held in, Wells shot. Blocked by Daneyko and ends up as a souvenir. 6:45 to go in this first period. The Devils leading 1-0. Scott Niedermayer got the goal that went in off a Rangers stick.
It's so easy for the Devils to set up in that 1-2-2. We'll look at it right here. It's so easy when the play actually comes out of deep, and that's what happens. Here is their one. That is Stéphane Richer. These guys right here are the first set of 2. These guys here are the second set of 2, and that's why they call it a 1-2-2. It is not a pure trap. It has been called a 1-2-2 trap. That kind of is a contradiction in terms. A trap is a little bit different than that. You actually push everybody over on the one side of the ice once you've channeled the play that way. That is a 1-2-2 forechecking system that drops into the neutral zone.
Shot on Brodeur, deflected wide again as they continue to gun it in. Karpovtsev the point shot that time. Tom Chorske for Lemieux. Claude Lemieux in the corner. Lemieux, who has had 6 goals and 16 points in the playoffs this season. He has been outstanding. Dropped wide side. Karpovtsev up for Graves. Graves sends that one in. Knocked down. Tommy Albelin. Albelin right back out. 2-on-2. Carpenter just sent it in. Had nowhere to go with it. Richter left it. Zubov lost it. Zubov lost it behind the net. Had to come back to get it. He had Bobby Carpenter all over him. And he's forced back now by Billy Guerin. Back to Leetch. Leetch and Zubov are now the pairing. Cleared to center. Nichols just on the ice. Stood right there and got it. Billy Guerin with Zubov. Shot, save Richter. Lowe backs it up. Billy Guerin was there. Turn around. Zelepukin can't get the shot off as Graves moves in on him. The Rangers are not sharp. Far side, Anderson could not get it out. Comes back to Lowe. Lowe, Zelepukin turned him off the puck. Cleared up. One of the reasons they're not sharp, the Devils are doing what they've been doing. especially for the last 3 games. They are right in the Ranger jersey. Every time the Rangers turn around, there's a New Jersey Devil standing there to stop the offensive play.
And what is so strong about the Devils system is they will never put themselves at a defensive disadvantage or at a vulnerable situation defensively to try to generate an offensive play. They wait till you make a mistake, then they take it. They had everybody working on it. Billy Guerin took a sharp angle shot on Mike Richter and watched Kevin Lowe lose it, dumped it right back into Guerin. Nobody wanted to take the shot, so the Rangers dodged a bullet on that one, but the Devils a step quicker every area of the rink.
Every area of the rink, as they were in the last game. Fetisov's got it behind the net, 4:58 to go in this first period. The Devils have the 1-0 lead. Up along the boards, Wells tried to step up, got hauled down, and a penalty coming up. It's going to be on the Devils. Carey Fraser, Bobby Holík, they all were right along the boards, and when Holík hooked Wells and took him down, Carey Fraser made the call, and the Rangers will get their first power play of the game.
Yeah, Bobby Holík took a little gamble there. He stepped outside of Jay Wells. That means behind Jay Wells. The puck never got by Jay Wells, so Holík had to kind of scrambled with his stick. Here comes the dump up the board. You see Holík let Jay Wells get in front of him here? You almost have to play with your head on a swivel when you're back there on the blue line. The reason Bobby Holík did kind of a double take is that it seemed like a delayed call.
He also held onto his stick, I think, didn't he?
Jay Wells held onto his stick, but besides that, it seemed like two or three seconds went by before Carey called it.
Second penalty of the game, first one on the Devils. 15-12, Bobby Holík goes. Niedermayer's goal came at 8:03. Jacques Lemaire, first-year coach of the Devils, trying to take them to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in their franchise history. They got to a conference final against Boston once before and were beaten in 7 games. The only time they have made it that far. Ranger power play. Chorske was over. Messier's out. Chorske blocked it, didn't get it by Leetch. Leetch moving in. Brian Leetch, the shot. Saved by Brodeur. Got it with the left shoulder. Messier and Chorske. Leetch again trying to hold it in, can't. The Ranger power play in this series has been shut down pretty effectively by the Devils. 4 for 20 in this series. Shot in again from center. Brodeur the save. Cleared out by Stevens. Leetch right there. Of all the Rangers we've seen thus far in this game, Brian Leetch looks like the one who is most ready to rise to the occasion if he can here tonight.
I thought he played his heart out in Game 5.
Zubov shot. Blocked by Stevens. Stevens blocks the attempted centering pass. And it's cleared out as Larmer's pass went right into Scott Stevens. Zubov coming back to get it. 1:05 left on this power play for the Rangers. The Rangers overall in the playoff series this season have had a very effective power play. Ranked second in the playoffs, 16 for 72. Lemieux short-handed. Leetch and he do battle. Leetch came away with the puck in the corner to Zubov. Rangers down to 45 on the power play. Matteau tried to kick it in. Tommy Albelin drove it away. Kovalev goes wide side. Kovalev out there with Matteau and Eddie Olchuk in the power play. Brought in by Kovalev, back for Leetch. Leetch wide side to Zubov, off his stick into the seats. Off the face-off, Kevin Lowe. Mark Messier rather won it. Sent in by Esa Tikkanen. Power play down to 23 seconds. Tikkanen moved in to hold it in, lost it to Stevens. Stevens around the net, avoiding Larmer momentarily, back to the point. Rangers still in a power play. Shot by Lidster, that hit John McLean. Shot by Tikkanen, that hit Stevens. Picked up by Bobby Carpenter and cleared.
That has been the story of the last 2 games. The Rangers with all kinds of shots. Yes, on the power play. Yes, at even strength. But their percentage of shots on goal relative to total shots taken has steadily dropped in this series. The Devils have gotten in front of so many shots, more and more each game.
Bobby Holík, great shot. Rebound, loose, shot, deflected by Doug Lidster, and a penalty coming up with the Rangers. Centered, Niedermayer, scores!
Well, when Jacques Lemaire asked who wants to be a hero, who wants to be the guy before this game, Scott Niedermayer obviously jumped up and scrawled his name on the blackboard, because Niedermayer has been a one-man band in the first period with both Devils goals. Excellent passing by the Devils, and once again, the Rangers not quick enough on their man-to-man coverage. Was this one tipped in front? Not sure.
Can't tell.
But it was Niedermayer's shot all the way. What a blistering shot that seemed to confuse Mike Richter. Lemieux was in front trying to deflect. We'll get the official in a second.
Billy Guerin trying to move in. Kevin Lowe knocked it away. The Devils lead 2-0. Guerin stole it again. Back to Dowd. Backhand shot. Save. Richter. Rebound deflected to Kevin Lowe. Claude Lemieux will be credited with a tip-in on that goal in front of the net off Niedermayer's shot. Centering pass blocked by Dowd. Cross ice for Scott Niedermayer. Niedermayer is a very good offensive player, but under Jacques Lemaire's system, defensemen don't play offense. He's been asked to stay back. He does. There are many who believe, given the chance, he would be a Brian Leetch type player, that he is that good. But not in this system will you ever know.
And in this system, you don't need a Brian Leetch type player because all of the parts are interchangeable. Scott Niedermayer under Larry Robinson's tutelage as well, because Larry Robinson is Lemaire's assistant, really improved. All the defensemen here have improved.
Neil Smith, the Rangers president and GM. That about tells it all right there. Al Morganti.
Fitting that Claude Lemieux get credit for that. All the way down the ice, Glenn Anderson all over him, hooking, holding. That would have been the penalty there in front. Lemieux just shook it off, kept driving to the net, and he got exactly what he wanted. Anderson was over him the whole length of the ice.
Claude Lemieux at 17:32, his second of this series. A 2-0 lead. And take a look at this. No team. We're not talking about coming back to win a game. We're talking about just getting back when you've been down 2 goals. And make it even. Neither of these teams has done that against the other in this series. 2 goals has been enough. Lidster sends it in. Daneyko over. Esa Tikkanen there. Nemchinov back along the boards. Tried twice, 3 times to get the pass out. Finally does. Tikkanen can't get it lined up. John McLean sends it out. Rangers down 2-0. 1 minute left to go in the first period. Leetch dumped it in, but Tikkanen had been cut off by Bruce Driver. 1 minute left to go in period number 1. Down behind, a penalty coming up behind the Devils' net. Gary Fraser was there. Bruce Driver caught Nemchinov. I didn't see it. Or Eddie Olchuk. And a penalty coming up on the Devils' Bruce Driver. It'll be a power play for the Rangers, but only 52 seconds left to go in this period. Rangers did not convert on their first chance. They are now 4 for 22 in this series against the Devils on the power play.
Guarantee if the Rangers win this game, that tape gets sent to the league too.
The battle of tapes. Who gets suspended?
Tape gate.
That's right. Brought in by Messier. A 2-0 lead for the Devils. Messier trying to center. Stevens pickpocketed away.
What a play by Scott Stevens. Messier was by him twice. He never gave up on him and finally took it from him.
Richter looking for a little help back there. Brought up by Zubov. Into the zone. Zubov the shot. Brodeur the save. Larmer trying to run it in. Couldn't. Brodeur just held his ground even though he was sprawled out face first. Larmer trying to dig it out. Can't. There'll be a whistle and a face-off. 7.8 left to go in the first period. They lose and their season is over.
Watch this shot by Sergei Zubov. He just flings the puck, and it looked like it deflected off somebody. Brodeur couldn't get either of his hands to it. Looked like it hit him just about in the throat. But Brodeur's size helps him so much. He was really amused by Zubov's shot. Zubov doesn't snap the puck like most players with the wrist shot. Brodeur described it as an old-time wrist shot, where players just kind of cup it and one big sweeping motion, just sort of fling it at the net. He said Zubov's the only guy I've faced all year that shoots like that, and boy, does he get something on it.
He's had a goal and an assist in this series. Martin Brodeur has kept the offensive numbers down, certainly, in this series. A 2.02 goals against the Rangers. Again, Messier in the draw, lost it, intercepted, Leetch, shot, Brodeur in trouble with it, but covers it up. The Rangers do have to be talking to themselves.
Yes, and what they're saying is not positive, because they have had their chances. They have had point-blank chances. Adam Graves fanned on one right in front about 10 minutes ago. And how huge would this have been? 0.8 seconds to go in the period. Brian Leetch with a terrific opportunity. Mark Messier has now won 9 of 11 faceoffs, if you include this one. See where Leetch was going, high to the glove side again. Brodeur's size is such a help, though, when people try to go high on him. He's 6'1", weighs 205 pounds, and like all goaltenders of his size, he covers a bunch of net.
Brodeur had the second best goals against during the regular season and the 4th best save percentage, and he's only a rookie. Nichols went down to one knee just to tie it up. And the first period is over. And the New York Rangers will hear the chant of 1940 from the Devils fans as they head out. Neil Smith, their general manager, may have only 2 periods left for this team to get that yoke off their back. Power play continues for the New York Rangers. They've got 1:06 left on this power play opportunity. The shots in the first period, 13-9 in favor of the Devils. And the Devils have the 2-0 lead. The goals picked up by Niedermayer at 8:03 unassisted. That actually went in off a Ranger stick, Nemchinov's. And at 17:32, Lemieux's 7th from Niedermayer and Nichols. 2-0 Devils. Far side, Rangers Messier in the power play unit. Kicked it back, Leetch trying to move into Graves. Shot Graves, blocked deep. There it is again. Zubov looking, back to Leetch. Leetch winds up, shot Brodeur, saved. Rebound came to Graves, tried to center. Stevens blocks it, held onto by Messier. 25 in the power play, and they mess up at the point. Graves cut in, Messier passed back to him, was going the other way. Messier in his skates, he was heading to the bench for change. Ken Daneyko there with him, 15 on this Ranger power play. Eddie Olchuk comes out, Olchuk, Messier, Graves. Graves had it batted away. Leetch back near side, Olchuk. Olchuk to the point, shot Zubov. That didn't get in, it was blocked by Nichols. Nichols comes. The penalty is over. And the Devils have killed off another, and the Rangers are 0 for 2 on the power play. Olchuk again to center. Olchuk sends it in. Comes off the glass high to Jim Dowd. Dowd hit from behind, puck left there. Litzker unable to hold it in. He joined us late. Beukeboom has been suspended for a hit he put on Richer in the last game. Suspended for 1 game, so he's not playing tonight. Brian Noonan is injured, bad shoulder. He is not in the game tonight. Doug Litzker and Ed Olchuk are the 2 Rangers who have taken those spots. And there's Olchuk right there. Olchuk clears it out. Blocked at center by Dowd. Dowd over to Guerin. Guerin's got the step. Guerin saved by Richter. Bounced off the shoulder. High shot. Esa Tikkanen comes the other way. Tikkanen poked away by Niedermayer and cleared right back out. Zelepukin starts it up ice to Guerin. Rangers changing. Zelepukin some room. Niedermayer couldn't handle it, but he did poke check it away from Litzker. Held in the zone. Zelepukin dumped it behind the net over to get it Guerin. Devils continue to have the step on the Rangers. Kovalev and Edu battle. Nichols taken down by, well, tried to take him down. Litzker hit him and went down himself. Kovalev comes away with the puck. Devils change it up behind the play. Kovalev moving it in. Rangers need someone to rise to the occasion. McLean blocked the pass. Cleared to center. Bernie Nichols sprawled along the ice. He collided with Kovalev. Intercepted Richer. Saved by Richter. Richter plays it off near side Zubov. 2.5 minutes into the second period. Intercepted again. Richer shot deflected by Larmer. Played by Nichols. Rangers can't find that extra step. Stevens hit the outside of the post on the backhand shot that trickled wide. Centered by Nichols. Came right back to him. Back to Stevens. Stevens the shot saved by Richter. Batted at by John McLean. Kovalev clears it out. Stéphane Matteau couldn't play that. Would have been an offside pass. Stevens behind his own net from McLean. The game moves along and the Devils have the lead. They'll just play with more and more confidence and be tougher and tougher to score on.
And they'll be like bigger and tougher seaweed in the neutral zone. It's like trying to swim through seaweed, trying to get through the neutral zone when they have their 4 men. That 1-2-2 always provides them 4 men back.
Lemieux's got room, drops it off. Chorske back to Lemieux, blocked. In behind the net, Lemieux kicks it over to Tom Chorske. Up to the point, Niedermayer has got a goal and an assist. Waits, screen, shot. Richter, great save. He had all kinds of people in front of him on Niedermayer's shot from the point. This kid's putting on the show tonight. The Devils, if they get the victory, they move on to play Vancouver in the Stanley Cup Finals. Niedermayer over to Fetisov. Slava Fetisov sends it in behind the net. Peluso there tried to center. Rangers being outshot 17-10 and trailing by a score of 2-0. Off the boards for Bobby Holík. Rangers have scored only 1 goal in each of the last 2. And they started up ice. Lichter dropped it off. Gilbert comes to center. Gilbert over to MacTavish to Kocur. Tipped away from him by Fetisov. Holík got by MacTavish. Bobby Holík moves it in. MacTavish on him. Shot McKay wide. Randy McKay with a chance right there. Cleared out of the zone. Peluso comes to center to Fetisov. Played by Joey Kocur into the zone. Back to get it. Devils behind their own net. Fetisov. You see how little pressure there is. Rangers changing that time. Peluso sends it up ice and heads to the bench. Zubov going back to get it. They wave off any icing. Rangers trying to catch the Devils in a change. Kevin Lowe. Lowe cleared it into the zone. Kevin Lowe playing in his 185th playoff game tonight, tying Dennis Potvin for second in most playoff games. And behind the bench for the New Jersey Devils, their assistant Larry Robinson, the all-time leader in games played with 227. On the near side, Jim Dowd. Dowd tipped it into the middle. Kovalev is there. Kovalev sends it around. Cleared up and out of the zone. Stéphane Matteau's all by himself. Driver there. Poked it away. Matteau has it. Rangers get back in. Kovalev, Daneyko blocked it before it got to him. And again, they just can't get it in on net. Devils right back the other way. Chorske waiting, Billy Guerin waiting for a little help. Lowe partially blocked it. Richer's shot blocked. Mike Richter standing the ground on that one. Kovalev backs it up for Lowe. Notice how the pace of this game? Down, down, down. That's to the Devils' advantage.
And even when the Rangers, oh, look at this.
MacLean, save made by Richter.
Man, even when the Rangers get into the Devils' zone, it's one pass, hardly ever a shot, and then Devils out. Devils out. No sustained pressure, no sustained forecheck by the Rangers at all. The Devils, on the other hand, are able to generate a scoring chance, turn it back over, and generate another one. Richer with a blind pass out to John MacLean in the slot. And almost had room under the right arm of Mike Richter. Hit him right up under his right arm. John MacLean, for the scoring chances he has been kind of snake bit in this series. He's had a couple of dandy setups, especially in Game 5 when he set up Bernie Nicholls for his second goal. But this is a bona fide National Hockey League sniper that really has not been able to find the handle.
The goal and 3 assists for him, John MacLean, against the Rangers. And the Rangers are going to use their 1:30-second timeout right here. Mike Keenan just feels, I think this thing is starting to drift away. That there comes a point in a game like this where a team sometimes senses it's over. And if that happens, it is over. And the Rangers may be getting dangerously close to that point out of frustration, out of bangs and bruises and hurt bodies, out of the defense they can't get through on. And right now, what's going to happen behind that bench? Find some way to keep that fire going.
Yeah, exactly. Mike Keenan did not utter a word that entire timeout. Not one word.
The veteran players on the bench. El Morganti's down next to that bench. Morganti telling us that it was the veterans, Tikkanen, Larmer, Messier, who were doing the talking. There's why they called the timeout. They're down 2 and they're not getting any chances. Back to the point. Devils hold it in. Shot wide of the net by Tommy Albelin. Again, the save on Bobby Carpenter's shot. Chorske hit the post! Tom Chorske hit the post! Stevens drops it. Shot Tommy Albelin. That hit the Devil! That puck was blocked by Tom Chorske, or it would have been a goal. Cleared back up. Larmer can't get it out. Rangers lug out. The ice is now slanted towards Mike Richter.
If anything, that timeout made things worse for some reason.
Came out with less than when they went.
Yeah.
Near side, Karpovtsev. Tipped into the zone, 2-line pass. Bernie Nicholls, who's picked up a couple of goals in this series, just had some interesting conversation. El Morganti.
Well, during that break, he was going nose to nose, yapping with Jay Wells, and he is having a heck of a time tonight. Sure, it's a serious game, but that Devils bench is very electric right now. Up for a reshift, and you can tell who's ahead and who's behind just from the benches.
Next question in this game, with the Devils leading 2-0. They've now doubled the shot, 20 in favor of the Devils. And for Bernie Nicholls, who we were looking at. 88 points now in 85 playoff games. He's had 5 points in this series, and he's loving it because Mark Messier was one of the players he was involved in a trade. Shot deflected wide. Comes back up to Doug Lidster. Shot. Brodeur save. Fetisov swings it away to the boards. That one did get in on net. Billy Guerin over to Zelepukin. Zelepukin dumps it in front. Leetch is there. Brian Leetch plays it up. Devils changing behind the play. Larmer. Larmer dropped it for Tikkanen. Back to Larmer. Larmer's shot. Save made by Brodeur. Fetisov. He'll take it behind his own net on the swing to Zelepukin. He gets hit by Kovalev. Here's the shot by Zubov. Backhand shot. Save on Matteau. Rebound loose in the crease. Matteau holds it in. Couple of good chances.
Yes, and a couple of miscues by the Devils. They double covered twice. They didn't cover one guy and another time. They made mistakes defensively.
Intercepted Billy Guerin on Messier's pass. Devils need the change here, and will do it. Zubov takes it in behind the net. Zubov up for Kovalev. Kovalev swung it out through the middle. Matteau had it and lost it to Tom Chorske. Back on the near side to Lowe. Again, back into the middle to Kovalev. The Devils during the regular season, second best defense, gave up only 2.59 a game. 2-on-1, Lemieux and Chorske. Tom Chorske sent it through the crease. Shot, driver. He didn't get it right. He hit that one off the heel of the stick, and it's cleared out by Matteau.
He missed the net by 10 feet. I think Bruce Driver wanted to put it through the back of the net so bad he took a little bit too much ice, kind of hit it fat.
Could easily be 2 or 3 more goals up there for the Devils. But for some just bad breaks.
No question about it. Some people thought that the Rangers should carry the puck into the Devils' zone more instead of shooting it in because Brodeur is handled so well. Kovalev tried to carry it in. Devils get a 2-on-1. The Devils want you to carry across.
There it is right there, Bill. You come in, every step you take, you get another Devil with you. Quote checked away near side. Nemchinov to Karpovtsev. Shot deflected in front. Rebounded back to Wells. Wells guns it in. Deflected, deep, kicked in. Eddie Olchuk, everybody jamming. The puck came loose, but there was a whistle. It was covered up momentarily.
Oh, Martin Brodeur has something to say to Eddie Olchuk, if that is in fact Olchuk. He started yapping at him right away.
What a great tradition this kid's carrying on. Our people did some outstanding research on rookie goaltenders that had great playoffs in the Stanley Cup Series, and he joins them. Felix Potvin, Ron Hextall, Kenny Dryden, and Patrick Roy, the Canadiens who led their teams to Stanley Cup championships when they were rookies, and both of them won Conn Smythe Awards. Jacques Lemaire's got a kid who's in that category in net for him. Brodeur just 21 years old and just may be the Rookie of the Year.
Here's this last rush by the Rangers. It took a great individual effort by Kovalev even to get across the line, and then you can see how it kind of jams up. I'll give the Rangers a lot of credit. Through good forechecking and determination, they generated a scoring opportunity right here. Look at the Devils in the picture, though. Watch this save by Martin Brodeur. That one was tipped out near the blue line, so Stéphane Matteau was able to get a good backhand shot on him. Of course, you have quick legs. Just like his coach, Jacques Lemaire. Quiet determination.
And like Jacques Perron, the goaltending coach, has told him, he watches that puck, never loses sight of it. Like a ball player who hits, you've got to see it to hit it. In hockey, as a goaltender, you got to see it to stop it. He does. Rangers, Matteau. Matteau trying to center. Tikkanen was there. Knocked away. Tommy Albelin rebound shot. Deflected in front of Stevens as Larmer turned it in. First time in this game where the Rangers have put on a couple of flurries in the last 2 shifts offensively. Stevens brings it out for the Devils. Larmer moved up and knocked it away.
I think sometimes things can come too easy to you, and things were coming so easy to the New Jersey Devils that they almost look to me like they've let up a little bit. Yes, the Rangers are still coming, but the Devils seem a little bit unsure of themselves on their defensive coverage, and they're about a step behind now. Remember in the first period we said they're a step ahead? Well, last 5 minutes they've been a step behind. There's the man that told his teammates yesterday, we will win. Mark Messier has been through these situations before, and he announced to all of his teammates that the Rangers would conquer in Game 6. And right now they've got a 2-goal deficit to overcome before they even get even.
Leetch tried to hold it in. Messier had to come back to get it. Lidster tied up by Chorske. Look at the hit Graves put on Lemieux as he knocked him down. Very few penalties here. Couple of power play chances in this game. That's been about it. Daneyko behind the net. Daneyko cleared it up along the near side boards in that first period. Only penalties, Larmer, Holík, and Driver. 3 of them. That's been it. Behind that, Brian Leetch. Leetch drops it off. Doug Lidster playing for Beukeboom. Sends it in. Deflects in on Martin Brodeur. Left it for Daneyko. Daneyko the hard up off the boards. Got it out of there. Chance for a 2-on-1. Dowd drops it off. Lemieux shot, and that's deflected high. Richter missed it, but there wasn't a devil there to bang it home. He tried to cover it up as it came off the boards, and it went right by him.
The only reason there wasn't a devil there is that he'd gone to the bench for a change.
And Daneyko on his own end. Daneyko up for Driver. The Vancouver Canucks awaiting the winner of this series. Billy Guerin who can fly. Guerin hit by Kevin Lowe. Tip to the corner, Jim Dowd. Dowd over to get it. Dowd with Zelepukin in front of the net. Tried to get it there. Richter blocked it. Cleared up near side. Nemchinov. Fetisov takes him out of the play. Niedermayer plays it up and out. Will have to be chased down again by the Ranger Zubov. Zubov from his own end. Zubov tried to send it in. That's deflected about 14 rows back.
Boy, the Devils done a job on Brian Leetch. He had 17 points in the first 9 games, and the Devils have limited him to 3 points through the first 5 games of this series.
Incredible job by this New Jersey Devils defense in the playoffs this season. Overall this year in the playoffs, their goals against now is 2-1-0, third best. Shot in by Holík. Richter the save. Karpovtsev tried to clear it out. Randy McKay blocked it. Some help from Larmer. Larmer trying to find somewhere to go with it. McKay pinning him in. Larmer goes in behind the net. 22-14 the shots in favor of the Devils. They picked up 2 goals. Even strength both coming in the first period by Niedermayer on the first one and Lemieux on the second. McKay again. Back to Peluso. McKay drops it. Holík shot. Deflected in the slot area. It was partially blocked by Larmer. Off the boards for Steve Larmer. Rangers not connecting. Hit put on Larmer by Fetisov. Bobby Holík. Holík moves around Larmer. Karpovtsev moved in. Fetisov was there to swing it out. Leetch on the ice to MacTavish. Greg MacTavish centering pass through the crease. Again, the Rangers unable to get in there. Cleared out of the zone by Stéphane Richer. Leetch going back. Lidster, look out, McLean almost split the 2 of them. McLean hitting Lidster. Lidster kicks it away to Gilbert. Greg Gilbert cleared it. Stevens is there to knock it down. Brian Leetch over to Kocur. Joey Kocur, the shot, save, rebound kicked away by Leetch. Centered, Kocur. Brodeur's got it underneath him.
Check it out. You know, Gary, you talked a couple of minutes ago about Brodeur never taking his eye off the puck. That is #1 from his goaltending coach, Jacques Caron. I think he even saw this after his helmet had been busted off his face. I think he saw the centering play and got his arm down in front of it. And he's yucking it up.
21 years old and loving every minute of it.
Yep. That tells you something about his emotional metabolism, to see him smiling like that, and it sure looked like a genuine smile. 7:09 to go in the second period. 2-0 lead. No big deal. Well, here's the Kocur shot, and it was a good one. He got taken out of the play. See his arm down there? He is right under his armpit. I'm convinced, because from our angle, I could see his face, that he was even looking at it through legs when it got to the corner. Watch this. See how he's just concentrating on the corner?
Brodeur not even listed in the Devils press guide as one of their primary players. He's in the back of the book under those in the system. Martin Brodeur took the job basically away from Chris Terreri's the #1 goaltender, having played in only 4 games prior to this year. Makes the save again. Kovalev blocked by Brodeur. Kovalev behind the net, centered, comes back to the point. Kevin Lowe shot, can't get it in. Stevens blocked it. Chorske breaks. Lemieux on the right. Chorske had it poke checked away by Zubov. Chorske to Lemieux. Lowe got that one. Kovalev. Messier out there with him. Kovalev into Messier. Mark Messier tried to dump it back in front. Devils there. Graves left it off. Chorske intercepted up to Lemieux. He bats at it out of the zone on the 9-iron. Kovalev again. 6:30 left to go. Second period. Lemieux intercepts. Lemieux with Carpenter. Lemieux holds it. Zubov made the play on him. He tried to move it around him. Couldn't get there. Back to center Messier. Kovalev. Kovalev in. Kovalev tried to wind up and take the shot and left the puck behind him. Cleared behind the net. Messier centered. Blocked by Brodeur. Messier again. Messier's got no one to pass to. Kovalev. Kovalev. Messier. Devils right on the puck. Kovalev's got someone now. Moves in himself. Shot. Never got it off. Blocked from behind by Nicholls. Loose behind the net. Ed Olchuk can't dig it out. Still no whistle. There it is. It's underneath Scott Stevens.
What a shift by this line of Messier and Graves and Alexei Kovalev, the two guys holding one another. Mark Messier and Bernie Nicholls. They were traded for one another 3 years ago, and Bernie Nicholls is still bitter about it.
A couple of press stories yesterday and today. Nicholls saying again, I still can't believe they traded me, even if Messier was the man I was traded for. So he's loving the fact his team's leading right now by a score of 2-0 and trying to end the Rangers season tonight. Waiting to get Nemchinov and Dowd set. Nemchinov got to get that stick down first. Won the draw back to Leetch. Now the Devils stay right on the puck. Let's the tip. Brodeur the save. A perfect tip by Adam Graves for the 5-hole, and Brodeur blocked it again. And then there's Brodeur. Esa Tikkanen taken out of the play. Niedermayer tips it behind the net. Scott Niedermayer reversing direction over to Driver. And at 44 on the matching minors, Bobby Carpenter cleared it out. Tom Chorske, when there's a 4-on-4, Chorske will be there because of his great speed. Graves sends it in. Niedermayer pinned him up against the bench. Nicholls goes to the Carpenter goes to the corner with a hit. Chorske between the legs and the pass. Niedermayer right back to him. Tom Chorske in his own zone. 2-0. Devils leading. Got 5:13 to go. Period number 2 at the Meadowlands. Montclair High School graduated here this morning, their largest class ever, 1,000 shot wide of the net. I say that because this building was jam-packed for half the day, and the ice may get a little softer as this game moves along. I mean, I have never seen so many people around this arena as there was for the graduation. Devils up 2-0, 4-on-4 still. Kovalev, Lidster, Devils force you. They just go back and forth at center. Nothing happens out there but losing the puck. Zelepukin back for Stevens, up for Dowd. Dowd dropped it out. Zelepukin heads to the bench. Nope, stays out. Moves up on the check on Zubov. Drop back Kovalev. Kovalev moving into the Rangers. Kovalev, 2 right on him. Intercepted and cleared out again by Dowd. You talk about a team buying a system and playing it to the max over the last 3 games. That's been the Devils.
Here is the only way you cross the blue line and get any kind of good results. It's if you have puck support. When Kovalev crosses the blue line, he has to have a Ranger get close to him because you know the Devils are going to overload. 2-on-1 on Kovalev. When he dumps it, nobody's within 20 feet of him. How is anybody supposed to get it? You got to get closer to the puck carrier.
Bernie Nicholls. Save made. Richter. Richer over the net. Tried to pick it up as he saw Mike Richter going down. Stéphane Richer back. Matteau's there. 3:37 to go in this second period. Devils threatening again. MacLean and Stéphane Matteau do battle behind the net. MacLean short sticking it. Pushes it near side for Fetisov. Slava steps up, holds it in, dropped it again behind the net. Richter trying to cover this thing up, does, with MacLean moving in looking for the loose puck. And a couple of the Rangers took exception to MacLean reaching in, but not much going on there. Randy McKay tipped away. Olchuk sends it behind the net. Leetch goes back to get it. Ryan Leetch dumps it off. A 2-0 lead for the Devils. Cleared in Nemchinov. Nemchinov taken out by Fetisov. Centering pass through Nemchinov's legs to Randy McKay, who gets it out. Lidster goes back to get it. 35-year-old Slava Fetisov is playing like he did when he was 25.
He looks more rested, Gary, to me in this game than any game that we've seen him play in the playoffs.
I mean, he is really ready. Nemchinov save Brodeur. Nemchinov wraparound save Brodeur. Zelepukin trying to clear, gets a little help. Nemchinov knocked it away. Olchuk shot, save Brodeur. And there's Fetisov picking up the puck. Slava got a lot of rest during the regular season as Fetisov played in 52 of the 84 games. Set out some. He didn't want to sit out any. Jacques Lemaire decided how he was going to play that to try and keep him rested. Maybe the best thing he'd ever done for Fetisov. Because now he's playing like a kid again. He wants his name on that Stanley Cup so bad. The one thing left in his hockey career that he doesn't have. He's got the gold medals. They've won the international games, and he played for the Red Army team. Zelepukin and Guerin. Zelepukin save made by Richter. Zubov behind the net. Minute 56 to go in the second period. Messier at center, tied up by Bobby Carpenter. Again, Billy Guerin the puck. Messier moves in. Mark Messier comes. Rangers need one desperately. Kovalev all alone. Kovalev shot. He scores. They got one. We will now have a game worthy of Game 6 of the conference final.
Boy, you bet. You bet we will. Yep, Neil Smith, there is life. There is life. All right, here's what happened in the neutral zone. The Devils at one point with pretty good possession of the puck. Finally, it's broken up, all right? When they come this way, if we stop right here, the Devils got confused over on this side and they got caught. Watch when the Rangers come this way, the puck support. See how many Rangers come to this side? There are 3 Rangers around the puck. That's why they were able to make the play, and that's what they hadn't done hardly at all in this game up until that point.
His first point of this series. Kovalev makes it a 2-1 game. A huge goal that comes in the final 2 minutes of this second period. Rangers try and hold it in can. Litzner comes back to get it. Kovalev, who had an outstanding season for the New York Rangers, picking up 23 goals and 33 assists. Held down by the Devils until he got that one. Moved in Nicholls, gets dumped by Leetch. Nicholls trying to control the puck, tying up Leetch's stick. Richer brings it in, he got dumped, and Esa Tikkanen's going to get the call. Knee to knee, and Richer gets up. Angrily heads to the bench as Esa Tikkanen needing. It'll probably be a tripping call, yes, on Tikkanen. The Ranger goal at 18-19. Kovalev from Messier.
Well, now the Rangers can settle down a little bit if they can kill this off. When I say settle down, I mean defensively. Here's the penalty. Not much question about that trip. A miraculous recovery there by Stéphane Richer. He looked like he was down and out, but he got up pretty quickly. Here's a look at the goal. We're going to show it to you again. See 3 Rangers in that shot. They had puck support on that side. Kovalev was on that side, so Messier carried the puck right to him. Nobody ended up getting to Kovalev in time. Terrific shot just inside the long post. Now the Rangers can settle down. They have given the New Jersey Devils 5 2-on-1s. Count them, 5 in this game. And the Devils haven't been able to score on one of them. The Rangers have had no odd man rushes. Settling down means playing better defensively. You can't keep giving the Devils 2-on-1s. And the Rangers, for that matter, now don't have to. They're within 1 goal. They can settle it down. They don't have to take any chances.
Amazing. They had no odd man rushes in that last game, the Rangers.
And none this game.
None this game. But it is a 2-1 game. Shots here in the second period, 13-11 in favor of the Rangers now. Devils 2, Rangers 1. Power play, though, for the Devils. Tikkanen tripping at 18:51. Tikkanen left to the dressing room because there's not much time left in the period. Mike Richter did not realize Jim Dowd was standing there. He skated away from that puck, thought it was his own man. It was Dowd of the Devils. He realized it in time to push Dowd away. Devils on the power play. Have not converted on the lone chance they had tonight. And that'll be brought in on the offside call. Morganti.
That last goal energized Mike Keenan. Before that, had been just behind the bench, pretty quiet, chewing the ice cubes as he usually does. Especially important, he went back. He was back-slapping everybody on the bench, but especially Kovalev. Yesterday, he reiterated that he thought Kovalev had been intimidated on the hit by Bernie Nicholls. So it was a huge, huge goal. He wants him out of that mode and more offensive mode.
We commented on that in the last game, how incredible it was that a coach would say publicly that he thought his player had been intimidated. Even if he felt it, you usually don't say that sort of thing. Mike Keenan, everybody says, probably did that to try and raise his hackles and put a little fire under. Kovalev comes away with a huge goal in this game. Devils on power play, 28 to go in the period. Cleared out of the zone again. Nemchinov pushed that one away. Stevens back to get it. Scott Stevens behind the net. Nemchinov turned it. Larmer moves in now. Tommy Albelin and Scott Stevens working the point on this power play unit for New Jersey. John McLean off the boards. Intended for Albelin, but intercepted and sent out by Litzker, who checks the clock. Seeing 5 seconds left on it, we are going to have one hell of a third period. Cleared up and off the glass. We have completed 2. If the New Jersey Devils can win this game, they will be in the Stanley Cup Finals. If the Rangers can come back and win this game, there will be a Game 7. Richer, who got hit by Tikkanen, still feeling some pain. Kovalev's the man who put it in at 18-19, and after 2, it's the Devils 2 and the Rangers 1. For Jacques Lemaire, his team can move on to the finals. There you see what's happened after 2 periods. Devils when leading have lost once. Rangers have not come back when they've gone to the 3rd period trailing. A power play continues for another 38 seconds for the New Jersey Devils. And this could be vitally important in this game, and the Devils know it. Leetch bangs it up. Messier shorthanded as Graves. Messier coming. Graves in the middle. Messier shorthanded. Save made as it was blocked out in front. Stevens. The whistle sounds. Oh, the Rangers going to be unhappy about this.
Yes, and did the Devils catch a break?
Wow. The net came loose because of the Devils. The Rangers had nothing to do with it. It stops play, and under the rules, that's what must happen. But he came back and threw it into that net that was off its marsh pegs.
Brodeur is still laughing. As Scott Stevens went down to block the Messier shot, his momentum carried him back into Brodeur and back into the net. Meanwhile, Messier was picking it up, trying to wrap around. Whistle went right about there.
And there's not one thing they can say because that's the way the rules are. The most that could happen there would be an intentional moving of that net, and you'd get a delay of game.
Right, but that sure didn't look intentional.
No.
Just a break. But you could tell the Rangers have the jump and want to go for it. When they jammed the puck out of their zone and they were just trying to clear it out, both Messier and Graves were already up at the blue line waiting for the break to transition on offense.
Niedermayer scored at 8:03 of the first period on a goal that was actually deflected in by Nemchinov into his own net. Then it was Lemieux at 17:32 from Niedermayer and Nicholls. Rangers getting on the board. Kovalev, save made on the shot taken from the top of the circle. Graves sweeps it back into the middle. Kovalev scored at 18-19 from Messier. 2-1 Devils lead, and the Devils power play will be over in 2-1. It's over. Rangers are back at even strength. 3rd period, Game 6. The New Jersey Devils lead in the series 3-2 and can wrap it up here. Touched up for the icing call on the Devils.
Well, this was a quiet bench in the first period. It's alive now.
Tikkanen won the draw. Back to Leetch. Makes the move. Leetch the shot. Brodeur the save. Daneyko had to move people out in front as the Rangers are starting to do what they have not done in the last 2 games, and that's get some people in front of Brodeur.
And when they get the faceoffs in the offensive zone, they have just great success against the Devils centers, winning the draws. Tikkanen was going to go backhand with it, switch to the forehand. Blocked and then pulled. Larmer helped with a little tap back to Leetch.
Devils win the draw. Daneyko, the man who made the clearing attempt there, clearing play rather. Driver tied the man up. Lichter got the puck. Jim Dowd back in front. Zelepukin saved by Richter. Rebound went wide, and Zelepukin got dumped by Doug Lichter. Leetch behind the net. Up for Esa Tikkanen. 2 minutes into the 3rd period. To the middle, Stéphane Matteau. Blocked by Daneyko. Kenny Daneyko moves it out of the zone. Played there by Richter. Holds it up for Lichter. Both teams over the boards as they change it up in the fly. Red line and in by Lichter. Back to get it, Martin Brodeur. Stevens the hard around. Blocked on the far side, Gilbert. Gilbert back behind the net, Eddie Olchuk. Tried a backhand wrap around, and it just slid off the blade. Peluso clears it in for the Devils. Karpovtsev goes back to get it. Peluso right on him. Jay Wells. Bobby Holík moved up on him. Wells waited too long. Holík back to the point. Tommy Albelin over to Stevens. Stevens a shot. Deflected in front and out deep. Chance for the Rangers to break, but Tommy Albelin batted it away.
That is a big play right there.
Would have had a 3-on-2, and Tommy Albelin didn't let it get started. There's Tommy Albelin going back to get it. He and Stevens teamed up here defensively. Albelin. Chorske, nice pass. Carpenter cutting to the net. Tom Chorske blocked by Doug Lichter, who has played a very good game. Lichter's first game of the playoffs, hadn't played since the last game of the regular season. Lichter's seen some ice time and has been effective. Kovalev moving in. Kovalev to Messier. Messier shot! Score! They tied the game! Mark Messier! Just throw the clicker away. You got all you'll need right here.
What a play. The Rangers with some speed through the neutral zone. When they have speed through the neutral zone, they are a dangerous team. And Mark Messier is as dangerous as they come. The man that proclaimed, "We will win Game 6, has just tied it. All of the sports sections in New York had Mark Messier's quote plastered all over them. We will win Game 6, and for the first time in this series, a team has overcome a 2-goal deficit. The Rangers are tied now, 2-2.
Messier's second of this series. Steve Larmer, and it is a 2-2 game. Kevin Lowe sends it in. Fetisov, Tikkanen blocked it in the corner. Back for Tikkanen behind the net. Can't handle it. Lowe steps up. John McLean got a piece, couldn't block it. Esa Tikkanen looking to the middle. Matteau set up in front. Larmer trying to get it to him. Shot on Brodeur. Save made. Rebound. Brodeur covers. Stéphane Matteau got a backhand shot off the rebound. Tying goal at 2:48. Messier, his 95th career playoff goal. Kovalev and Leetch had the assists. Messier now a goal and an assist tonight. Kovalev a goal and an assist. They both know they probably can't give up another. Brodeur covers it up. Messier right off the faceoff.
We'll give that to Mark Messier, and that makes 16 of 22 faceoffs that Mark Messier has won. Boy, when it's on the line, if you could pick a guy in the National Hockey League to have on your side, I bet you half the general managers would draft this guy for one game, one big time.
Ryan Leetch drops it off. They look to the middle. Graves is in front. Pass to him blocked by Stevens. Up along the boards, Lichter batted at it, and it ends up in the seats. 16:23 left in the third. Shots are even at 28, and the game is tied at 2.
A lot of ice time for Mark Messier with his 21 shifts, a couple of shots, 2 points. Boy, he's made them count. But Mike Keenan, in putting Kovalev with Messier, it paid dividends immediately. Mike Keenan shortened his bench, took Kovalev away from his normal wingers, and put him on the left side with Mark Messier.
Esa Tikkanen comes out for the face-off against Bobby Holík. Holík runs it back to Ken Daneyko. Daneyko over to Driver. Cleared at the length of the ice. They wave off the icing, saying the Rangers could have played it. Zubov back to get it. When you're in these situations, of course, everything is magnified 100-fold because it all could decide the game. Tikkanen bats it off the boards. Every face-off won or lost, every icing that's waved off, every chance that's not converted. Comes back to Larmer. Is this where the veteran nature of this Ranger team will show up? Zubov. Bobby Holík held it in on the errant pass. Holík shot just missed the wide side post. Ken Daneyko holds it in again. Kevin Lowe. Lowe can't get it out. Randy McKay behind the net. Peluso, Holík, and McKay in this rock line out there. They can do some damage when they get it in the zone. Kevin Lowe on the far side. Lowe up Matteau. Batted it out. No. Yes. That's why Peluso left it. Larmer trying to send it ahead. It's bumped up into the Devils bench. Adam Graves going to the bench. Let's check in with El Morganti.
Adam Graves apparently is back or shoulder sore. He's getting a rub down on the bench by a member of apparently the Rangers staff. Gave him a massage almost of his shoulders and upper back. Maybe just took a hit, loosened things up.
Maybe just a cramp.
Both teams with massage therapists who work regularly with the team all year long. Scott Niedermayer goes back to get it. 2-2 the score, 15 minutes and 7 seconds to go in this third period. This will be an icing call this time. Karpovtsev back on the touch-up. Face-off working down and Brodeur's in.
Does that tell you that the Devils are tightening up a little bit? Scott Niedermayer stepped out from behind his net. There was no pressure on him at all. And he just ripped a high shot off the boards and down the ice for an icing.
Red Fisher, a preeminent writer of hockey in Canada, told me an interesting story today. He has covered hockey forever. The English-speaking senior writer covered the Canadiens, Jacques Lemaire, when he played there. When Jacques Lemaire retired, Red Fisher wrote a story that said, "I'm not surprised he's retired as now because he'd already quit as a player." Jacques Lemaire took that so hard he has not talked to Red Fisher since the day he retired. And maybe one of the reasons Lemaire is so quiet and sensitive to the press. Brodeur covering up at the side of the net. And again, Kovalev's the man running it up on the goalminder.
Well, if he is intimidatable, it manifests itself in ways that I can't see, because Kovalev put his nose down and just drove for the side of the net on that play. And just about had a Rangers lead. Martin Brodeur will be tested now, folks. The Rangers started to come on in the second period because of great individual efforts like this one by Alexei Kovalev. And the Devils seem to be back on their heels, and they're making plays, or at least trying to make plays, that they don't usually try to make.
Chorske into the corner. Doug Leetcher there with him. Leetcher has gained, obviously, the respect of Mike Keenan in tonight's play. He's getting a lot of ice. Leetch in. Dumps it around the net. Brodeur could not play that. Kovalev drops it into the corner. Graves out there again with Messier. As Messier fell down, gets back up. Centered. Graves shot. Great save by Brodeur. Graves tipped it in, and Brodeur came up big again. Lemieux sends it into the zone. I have a feeling right now, a man who's sitting 12 rows back to the left side of Martin Brodeur is probably more nervous than Devils goaltender. His dad is 12 rows up to Brodeur's left, watching this play of his son coming down at his son's request from Montreal to see this game tonight. Bruce Driver sends it out into the middle. Stéphane Richer over for John McLean. Zubov steps up. Nicholls came up and held it in. Cleared up again and out of the zone. Driver back to get it. Driver sends it in. Near side, Kevin Lowe. Richer stepped up and took it away. Zubov pushes it around John McLean. Zubov starts it up the boards himself. Poke checked away. Stéphane Richer. It's onside. John McLean looking for help. Finds it. Driver. Save made by Richter. He's got it in the glove. Can you imagine being a father? You used to be a goaltender for the Canadian Olympic team. Your son has a chance to move to the Stanley Cup Finals. You're sitting there watching this game.
Denny Brodeur, the man that we just had a shot of, has said, you know, I try not to give too much advice to my kid. For one thing, he's had such a great season without me, and he's right. For all the little league dads out there, take note of that. Let the kids play.
Yeah, and this kid can play. Stéphane Matteau, it was out of the zone. Devils are going to have to clear. They do. Leetch, no, they haven't. So Leetch will get a free out here. Leetch drops it up to Esa Tikkanen. Tikkanen flips it in. Fetisov back to get it. 13 minutes to go. Third period. Game is tied at 2-2. Messier has picked one up here in the third to tie it up after the Devils had a 2-0 lead, and that's offside on the Rangers.
Well, here comes the Messier line again. Mike Keenan has found some real good combinations now. Kovalev with the Messier line. As a result, between Larmer and Matteau, Esa Tikkanen has dropped into that slot. It's like a finely honed machine right now.
He got the big goal at 18-19 of the second period from Messier, his fifth of the playoffs. Rangers must win to force this to a Game 7 on Friday night. The Vancouver Canucks have already won the Western Conference. They'll face the winner of this series. Tommy Albelin Albelin dropped it in off Chorsche's stick. Zubov and Chorske. They tie each other up in the corner. Kovalev has found a new life. Kovalev drops it off for Messier, chipped away by Stevens off the Devils bench.
Remember how difficult it was in Game 5 and in the first period for the Rangers to move through the neutral zone, the zone that the Devils try to contain in, the zone that they try to dominate defensively? Well, if you've been with us since about the halfway point in the second period, there's a lot more room in there now. And one of the reasons is the Devils, even when they don't have good first-man pressure, are sending a second guy in. Claude Lemieux actually got caught in deep that time as his second forechecker when his first guy didn't have everything under control. So there are only 3 guys back in the neutral zone instead of 4.
And Daneyko to driver to Bobby Holík. Holík, McKay and Peluso. Pass blocked by Leetch, sent in by Messier to the corner. Daneyko going back to get it. Messier moved over, partially blocked that, can't find it as it deflected up into the seats. Jacques Lemaire continues to just turn them over. So this Rock line that doesn't score a lot, but can hold the puck in. Bill, we've talked about the fact, if this line had a finisher, they would really be an outstanding offensive force.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be the Rock line.
That's right. They pin you in the corners and hold the puck in the zone, but they don't have anybody to finish off a scoring chance. Bobby Holík's the one the Devils would like to see be that, but hasn't been. So they just go out there and pound the heck out of it. MacTavish sends it in. Nicholls right back out. Karpovtsev. Martin Brodeur back to get it again. Niedermayer will play it there. 12:05 left to go in the third period. Richer tried to break. MacTavish sends it in. Niedermayer again going back to get it. Being tied at 2 in the third period. Rangers have outshot the Devils 19-8 in the last 20 minutes. Graves moving in, but way offside was Glenn Anderson on the right wing. He couldn't get out of the zone in time.
Adam Graves is due. He's had so many tremendous scoring opportunities in the last 3 games and hasn't been able to finish them off. Boy, when he sets up in front, if the Rangers can establish their forecheck and Adam Graves can stand in front of Martin Brodeur, he is one of the hardest men to move in the NHL. And the Rangers, I've mentioned, have had speed coming through the neutral zone, but part of their approach for this game had to be kind of a blue-collar approach. Drive at Brodeur, get people in front of him. Gary, they haven't scored that way, but I think they've done that pretty well.
Yep. Well, when they do that, Bill, it forces the Devils' defense at least to back up a little, which gives the Rangers a little more skating room in the offensive zone. Driver shot, blocked. Guerin held it into Driver. Back for Jim Dowd. Dowd centered, had it blocked by Kevin Lowe. Veteran defenseman moved in on that one. Matteau's pass chipped away by Esa Tikkanen. Tikkanen moving in. Shot. Brodeur gloves it. That was headed for the far side. Daneyko. And Tikkanen. Hard behind the net into the glass.
Now that is finishing your check. Ken Daneyko got a chunk of Esa Tikkanen and just kept riding him all the way to the boards.
He's played in every playoff game this Devils franchise has ever had. He and Bruce Driver.
You know, Brodeur's reach is so great. Watch this shot by Tikkanen. Got to be a foot wide. We've seen him glove so many pucks that are going wide. Bruce Driver and Steve Larmer behind the net. Kenny Daneyko and Esa Tikkanen. That's the finish of the check I was talking about. You know, a lot of goalies would let those wide shots go. They're dangerous if they go hard around and there's a point man standing back at the blue line.
Back to Leetch. Leetch drops it off. Kovalev again. Shot. Brodeur to make a save as Graves again tipped it in. And the first time in the series, really, that we've seen the Rangers start getting people in front of Martin Brodeur. Leetch back to get it. Brodeur said that's the one thing I don't want to happen in this series. Leetch moves in. His shot deflected, and that'll end up in the seats. Says my D have been keeping people out, and so long as they do that and I can see the puck, I'll make the save. The Rangers trying to muck it up in front here, having some success in the third. He's 21 years old. We talked about the great young rookie goaltenders. When Patrick Waugh led the Canadiens to the Stanley Cup championships in his rookie year. He was only 20 years old. Brodeur is 21. Mike Richter, he held the fort in the first period for this team.
Yes, he did. After the Devils got their lead, he had one deflected by him by his own player, and the second goal was a deflection right in front of him.
Stéphane Richer takes the shot. Karpovtsev blocked it partially. Gilbert couldn't handle that. Rolls in on Brodeur. Up the boards, lost it. Gilbert flips it into the wide side corner, high off the glass. Back a little deeper. Gilbert. Poke checked away by Fetisov, held in by Wells. Gilbert, Nemchinov, and Anderson are out there. Stéphane Richer tried to get it out of the zone. Can't. Held in by Karpovtsev. Rangers pinching down a little bit here. Karpovtsev trying to shoot it in, and it blocks. Comes to center. Jay Wells is there. Wells did not send that one in very hard, and the Rangers were changing it up. Niedermayer, save made by Mike Richter. Got caught in a change right there, the Rangers did. This is going to be an icing call on the touch by Daneyko. Bobby Holík and Craig MacTavish. Kevin Lowe skates in to stop the process. A defensive alignment here on the draw. Wanted to talk to Zubov, MacTavish, and Bobby Holík. Face-off won by MacTavish to Lowe. He talked about it and got what he wanted. Taken behind the net by Zubov. Over to Kevin Lowe. Lowe drops it wide side. MacTavish. MacTavish dumps it in behind the net. Daneyko back to get it. Ken Daneyko wants to backhand it up the boards. Gilbert got a piece of that. Partially blocked it. Lowe stepped up. Couldn't get it. Peluso comes to center. Peluso sends it in. Richter behind the net. Holding it up for Zubov again. Zubov. Kovalev. Kovalev has got one of the 2 goals for the Rangers all the way in. Zubov, the defenseman, to Kovalev. Cleared away driver, stepping up, shot, blocked. Was taken by Gilbert, and he sent it right into Randy McKay. Bobby Holík, 2-line pass. Getting his ice time in right now, and making it work. Fetisov drops it back to Niedermayer. Slava Fetisov blocked by Matteau. Brodeur out to play it. Zelepukin it by Tikkanen. Jay Wells the shot, blocked into the corner. Zelepukin again, this time he gets it out. Jay Wells flips it. Billy Guerin was charging on him. Matteau cleared it in off Guerin's leg. Jim Dowd back to get it. Dowd checked up in the corner. Matteau over there. Puck still loose. Matteau drops it back to Tikkanen. Niedermayer's there. Niedermayer pins up Esa Tikkanen. Fetisov comes away with the puck. 8:34 to go, 3rd period. Game tied at 2. Chance for the Devils for the odd man rush. 4-on-3 behind the play. A whistle. There's the reason. Niedermayer and Tikkanen.
Get the jaws of life out, because these guys aren't letting go. They were bolted together for about 30 seconds. Carey Fraser even went over to them and tried to get them separated. And the worst part of that from a Devils standpoint is that they had a good-looking rush going.
Fraser saying, no, come here. He's calling Scott Niedermayer back. They'll be, I'm assuming, matching minors.
Here's how it started. That's where they locked up. And the best of 3 falls in the black corner.
Tikkanen and Niedermayer both go. Both for roughing. So it's a 4-on-4 situation. Devils have not yet used their 30-second timeout, but remember the Rangers early in this game, in the first period, have used the 1 timeout that they have. So that is gone for Mike Keenan's team.
That, I think, is the low point for Mike Keenan in this game. His team had been trapped in their zone. They took a timeout. Mike didn't say anything to his guys. They went back out and looked worse trapped in their zone, but they didn't get scored on. That's just about when the Rangers started to show a little bit of life.
Stéphane Matteau has had an overtime game-winning goal in this series.
Here's what he was doing when the battle was going on behind the net. He was raking Billy Guerin's helmet off.
They followed each other all the way down the ice, but without further incident. Face-off won by Bobby Carpenter. Stolen. Kovalev can't handle it. Lichter brings it back in. Messier dropped it off. Leetch some room. Leetch spins to the forehand. Messier tried to pick for him. Leetch shot. Save. Brodeur.
What a skater. Just to be able to do what Brian Leetch just did skating-wise without a stick or a puck in his hand. Terrific play by Messier to him. Watch this. There's nothing there for him. Just a little pirouette. Complete control of the puck. A couple of little shuffle steps. I think he was trying for deflection. He knew Kovalev 27 was trying to get in front. That was not a shot intended to score. 23 minutes and 23 seconds for Brian Leetch.
Messier's won 12 faceoffs. Wins another one. Leetch moving in. The shot. Brodeur the save. Leetch trying to follow it up. Stevens picked his stick up. 2 chances for Brian Leetch. Kovalev covering up. We're in a 4-on-4, remember. Leetch moving it in. Leetch drops it. Kovalev again. Save. Brodeur. Rebound. Score! Mark Messier gets his second goal. The Rangers lead 3-2.
Are you the real Mark Messier? Yes, I am. How about it? Kovalev's shot was not one that Brodeur could squeeze off. The rebound to Messier. The Rangers have driven the net now really well in the last half of this game, and the Rangers have taken the lead.
There is no greater theater than sports, and Mark Messier is writing the stuff of which legends are made. Coming out publicly saying we will win Game 6. He has scored 2 goals in this game. Steve Larmer, 3-on-2. Larmer, Zubov with Graves. Looking back in the middle. Larmer got tied up. Shot deflected wide. Good play on the check from behind by Bernie Nicholls, who raced up ice. The Rangers lead 3-2. We're still in a 4-on-4 situation. Messier has scored the last 2 goals. Kovalev and Leetch have had the assists on both of them. Kovalev in. Kovalev drops it. Leetch down the middle. Leetch shot. Save made on Messier again. Comes back. Kovalev to Messier. Lichter cutting in. Drop behind the net. John McLean will go get it. Rangers lead 3-2 if the Rangers win. A Game 7 will be played on Friday night. Leetch dropped it off. Got away with that one to Messier. Messier is turning young again. Puck checked away by Tommy Albelin. Bobby Carpenter played it. Fetisov back to get it. Slava starts it up ice. 6:25 to go. A madhouse here at the Meadowlands now. Comes back to center. Leetch knocked it away. Messier and Fetisov. Tommy Albelin trying to hit Bobby Carpenter in the cut. It'll be swept into the zone. Icing coming up. These are Ranger fans you're hearing.
Boy, Mike Keenan is alive now. Mike Keenan looked as dejected as all of the Rangers fans in this building did in the first period. And you know what? The Rangers were going nowhere in the first period. The Devils were in control. Slowly but surely, the Devils' defense started to erode, and give the Rangers credit because they just kept on coming. And when Jacques Lemaire's guys backed off, the Rangers were all over them. Here is the goal that has made it a 3-2 game. Shot by Kovalev, assist by Messier. Mike Keenan's line combinations, which he modified after the first period, have really paid off. This huge line of Kovalev, Messier, and Graves.
You see Messier third all-time in that department. Stevens, Nemchinov took it away. Nemchinov, Daneyko poked it away. Nemchinov can't get to it. Zubov steps up, hits Zelepukin. Gilbert gets the puck, plays it off the boards. Glenn Anderson was behind the net. Daneyko stepped in front of him. Zubov again the collision. Gilbert the shot. Rangers putting the heat on, knowing one more can be the one. They are up 3-2. Nemchinov knocked back in by Gilbert. The Rangers have found new life. And the man who restored it for them is named Mark Messier. But it's not over. Zelepukin. Zelepukin with the shot off the end of the stick by Mike Richter. Cleared out of the zone by Anderson. Niedermayer. Devils are changing. Niedermayer sends it ahead. Zubov is there. 5:16 left in this third period. Zubov waiting for his teammates to get on the ice. Tikkanen dumps it in. Steve Larmer giving chase. Fetisov there first, hit by Larmer. Larmer trying to center. Bounced it out in front. Richer is there. Richer. Devils halfway through a line change. Brought in by McKay. Leetch hit it. Tikkanen's got it. Doug Leetch, what a job he's done tonight. Stéphane Matteau. Leetch is trailing. Tried to drop it back to him. Pinned up by Holík. Holík doing battle with Matteau. Got some help from Larmer. Sent behind the net to Tikkanen. He's got Larmer in front. Knocked away by Niedermayer. Fetisov back to get it. Bobby Holík on the far side. Clears it up and out of the zone. There's Leetch with Richer. Tried to step around him. Leetch wouldn't let him in. Leetch off the boards for Esa Tikkanen. Tikkanen bangs it out. 4:24 to go in the third. If the Rangers can win it, Game 7 at Madison Square Garden Friday night right here on ESPN. Blocked at center ice. Cleared up by Messier. Now he's doing it all. Driver comes back to get it. Near side to Tommy Albelin. Albelin to Driver. Messier stepped up, couldn't get it. Carpenter for Chorske. Chorske near side Lemieux. Claude Lemieux to try and tie it. Had it blocked into the corner. Jay Wells blocked it. Puck freed up center. Lemieux dumped it in front. Stepping up Tommy Albelin. His shot blocked. Adam Graves blocked it. Cleared up to Messier. Messier with Driver in front of him and he took it away. Back into the zone Tommy Albelin. Wells takes him down. They both go down on the ice. Graves behind his own net. Graves clears it out to center. Driver sends it in. 3:30 left to go in the third period. Mark Messier, the last 2 goals. 1 to tie, 1 for the lead. Knocked at center McLean, who swung around and missed Glenn Anderson.
I think he hit him. I think I even heard it, Gary.
Wow. A two-handed job up around the head. Nicholls ahead to McLean. McLean shot blocked by Leetch. Nicholls drops it back. Stevens shot blocked. Deflected into the zone by Glenn Anderson, who blocked it. Cleared around for Niedermayer. 3 minutes to go in the third. Penalty coming up. It's going to be on the Rangers. A delayed call coming. John McLean, extra skater out there for the Devils. There's the whistle. It'll be a power play for New Jersey. With 2:49 to go in the game, Mike Keenan cannot believe there's a slashing call coming here. A Devils power play when we come back. Mike Keenan still upset about the call by Carey Fraser. A slashing call. He's talking about all the calls that could have been made. He's hollering out. Here comes Carey Fraser over to talk to him.
Yeah, Mike Keenan was yelling 3 trips and you never called any of those. Kind of unusual for the referee to go over and debate it, but Glenn Anderson, when he was moving in on Bernie Nicholls, swung and hit him up high.
He was probably still upset about the hit at center by John McLean.
Yep, that wasn't called.
That wasn't called. Well, what a finish. 2:49 to go in the game. Anderson for slashing.
Here's the earlier slash by John McLean. Watch him swing around. Yeah, he got his back and his helmet.
On a two-hander.
Yeah.
The New Jersey Devils have not converted on the power play tonight in this series. They are 3 for 24. The Rangers have a 3-2 lead. The Devils have the power play. It deflects up into the seats. Couldn't be more tension, El Morganti.
Mike Keenan was debating with Carey Fraser about several calls over the last minute. The slash, a couple of what he thought were trips. Meanwhile, Bernie Nicholls, who took that slash, had his glove off on the bench. He was playing up for all it was worth, shaking his hand. Looks to be okay now there, and everybody's okay on the Devils bench. You're expecting the best out of this, especially when they pull the goalie.
Well, if it's going to be a Game 7, we'll probably see the McLean slash go to the office. Another tape.
Yep. Yep.
Here's Messier on the face-off against rookie Jim Dowd. Messier, Dowd won it, and a tough draw to win. Bruce driver deflected by Zelepukin into the corner. Power play Devils trying to get this tied up in the third. Messier cleared it out of the zone. Messier giving chase. Driver got there first. Played along the boards by Adam Graves, who sends it deep. We're looking at the time on the power play. There's 2:26 to go in the third. And Glenn Anderson spending 2 of the longest minutes of his life in the penalty box in this his 200th playoff game, who got called on that slash. Billy Guerin held it in. Zelepukin knocked down by Lidster. There's Doug Lidster out there in the short-handed unit.
Isn't that something? Mike Keenan started Karpovtsev with Brian Leetch. Then he tried Lidster. Lidster won the competition because he's been playing regularly.
John MacLean, back of the net. MacLean still had it. Pope checked away. MacLean tied up. Battling pucks underneath the bodies. Will they be used? We hope so.
Does Neil look a little more animated now than he did in the first period?
For 2 periods, you could see no teeth. The lips were tight, but this guy has loosened them up.
Yep. If Neil Smith was going to bet on one guy, it'd be that guy right there. Meanwhile, Lou Lamoriello has seen his team really squander a 2-0 lead. I do not want to take anything away from the New York Rangers because they just kept on coming. I thought the Rangers were flat early in this game. The Devils couldn't put them away, and the Rangers have just kept on coming. Meanwhile, Jacques Lemaire's team has allowed the Rangers to do something which really lets them back in the game, and that is skate. They have had skating room in the neutral zone. They have broken in on Brodeur, Messier's goal, and Kovalev's assist on the second Messier goal. Great example of that. So give the Rangers credit for coming at them and not stopping, but the Devils have helped out. They kind of self-destructed.
Look at those shots. 25-9 in the last 31 minutes, 30 seconds in favor of the Rangers. And I do really believe, Bill, this is where the experience matters. The Devil players, not having been in this situation before, tend to take that extra step backwards so they don't make the mistake. But that is the mistake.
Yeah, exactly. They get a little brain lock. We've seen the Devils. Now they're pulling Martin Brodeur. We got 1:53 to go, and they're still in the power play. They got 1:04 on that, so they're going to pull them. They are going to pull them.
Jacques Lemaire is going to go for it, try and get this thing tied up with 1:53 to go in the third. An empty net at the other end. There's Brodeur. A 2-man advantage for the Devils as a result of the penalty and the pulled goaltender.
Rangers can shoot at will at the empty net.
Because they're short-handed, there will be no icing. Bernie Nicholls looks behind him. Messier won the draw. Lidster cleared it around. John MacLean centered for the empty net. Mark Messier, do you believe it? Do you believe it? He said we will win Game 6. He has just picked up the hat trick.
The Devils were so close, and now they are so far. What a series, what a series.
He won the draw?
Yes, that was his 22nd win in 31 draws. And then he just nailed, he even landed that shot flat, just in case it was a pass for somebody. And the boys were waiting for him with open arms. They had all congregated at one end of the bench to welcome him back. What a performance. I think I said something before the game about him being genetically perfect for this kind of situation. Somehow, Mark Messier becomes a larger-than-life person when the situation calls for it and warrants it. Yep, that's what he said yesterday in all of the papers. We'll win.
When you say that in New York, the whole world knows. You better be ready.
Gosh. Didn't Patrick Ewing say that the other day too? It means something in New York now when the key guys say it.
This is really the stuff of which sports history are made of. Personally for him, for the New York Rangers, if indeed this is to be their year. It's the kind of thing that makes you believe destiny is really there on your bench. And they begin to start thinking the same thing.
Yep, exactly. Had the Devils been able to maintain their composure, boy, oh boy, they would have been a tough team to come back on. But they started to sweat, and they started to change their style, and Mark Messier led the charge as soon as the openings appeared. And this is what you can do when you just keep on coming.
They're taking the hats off the ice. Elmore Gandy.
Well, Mark Messier has felt the ticker tape. He's been a champion, but I think he'd rather have the kind of reception he got at the Rangers bench. I'm not sure, but I think Joey Kocur might have actually given a little kiss on the cheek when he came by. It was a very emotional scene, and for those that think, you know, Mike Keenan with the rib injury to Messier and all, Keenan came right over, absolutely like best of friends, and this is more of a reception for Messier right there on the bench by your team, because he is the captain, not just that seat, but that stare in his eyes tonight tells you he's the leader.
His first career playoff hat trick. Leetch. Lemieux. The Devils had pulled their goaltender Martin Brodeur to get the two-skater advantage. They still are on the power play. They still have the two-man advantage, but they are trailing 4-2.
Nothing conservative about Jacques Lemaire's decision to pull Martin Brodeur with over 2 minutes to go and being on the power play.
Will this get talked about in New York tomorrow?
Yeah, it will.
Or all over the hockey world.
The other options were waiting to see if you could at least score on the power play because you had a minute left, or even sneaking your extra attacker out into the play so that the Rangers aren't completely aware of what they're up against. Sometimes a player, if he's fighting for the puck on the boards, doesn't realize that that extra attacker is there. Now here comes Brodeur, and the extra attacker's on again.
Brodeur came out for the face-off at center. Now he's on the bench. Devils again have the two-man advantage. 4-2 Rangers leading. The Devils had a 2-0 lead in this game until Kovalev scored at 18-19 of the second period. Since then, it's been Messier, Messier, and Messier. A shorthanded, unassisted goal to give him the hat trick tonight. Lemieux on Zubov. 1 minute left to go in this game. Held in by Stevens. Billy Guerin trying to pass it on. Dowd couldn't get it by Tikkanen. Stevens the shot, save made Richter. Rebound shot, never got in on goal. Anderson knocked it down. Held onto by the Devils. Centered in front again. Intercepted. And cleared out of the zone by Glenn Anderson with help from Matteau. The shots are 36-30 in favor of the Rangers. Matteau and Niedermayer going at it. Delayed call, going to be on the Devils.
Yep, it's on Bernie Nicholls.
There's an empty net still. The shot deflected wide. Once this is touched up by the Devils, Rangers don't care. They'll leave it. And there's the whistle. The Rangers 4, the Devils 2. An incredible comeback for the New York Rangers. As Bill said earlier, neither of these teams had been able to overcome a 2-goal deficit in any way. They couldn't get back, either of them, when they were down by 2 to even come back and tie any of these games. Here are the Rangers doing it, and they're going to get a win. The penalties: Anderson gets 2 for unsportsmanlike, a 10-minute misconduct. Nichols 2 for roughing, 2 for high sticking, and a 10 misconduct. And Scott Stevens a 10-minute misconduct. None of that matters here. Now they just got to make sure something else doesn't happen.
Ken Daneyko, pretty good slash on Greg Gilbert. Kerry Fraser going to take them both. Yeah, Kerry's going to call absolutely anything that even resembles a penalty right now. This is kind of a combustible situation we've got right here.
And they all go to the dressing room. Nobody goes to the penalty box now with only 16 seconds left to go. An amazing chapter being written in Stanley Cup playoff history here tonight by the New York Rangers and Mark Messier. I mean, this truly is an unbelievable story of what he's done. Even if he hadn't said it, it would have been a great story. But by saying we will win Game 6 and then converting that into his first career playoff hat trick, and the last 3 goals, no less.
Just happy to be here.
Yeah. Thanks for the ticket.
No kidding.
Wells drops it back. Game 7, Madison Square Garden, Friday night, right here on ESPN's National Hockey Night. The New York Rangers have beaten the Devils 4-2. The GM can live to watch his Rangers play one more game.